My name's Ben. I'm from Canada and I've been working on the aft accommodation deck.
I'm Charlie and I've been working on the deck beams of the accommodation deck. It's an interior deck. There's going to be all the cabins for the passengers.
The captain has nice quarters, and then there is the first mate, there's the bosun, there is an office, and then there's 3 guest rooms, I believe. Living room, bathroom, and cabins on the sides.
Below is going to be the engine room.
In the engine room there will be 2 synchronous electrical motors, 64 battery cells for total weight of almost 7 tons, and all the equipment you need to manage the battery system according to the speed we want to go at and or the energy we need to create. Many electronic stuff.
We installed 11 deck beams and there's a 12th one being installed as we speak. Yeah, it went pretty good, I think. We had a lot of people putting beams in, so it happened kind of fast.
A diferencia del main deck, esas son rectas, esta no tiene curvatura.
Durante este proceso, ¿qué has aprendido?
Primero, mover las piezas, porque son piezas muy pesadas y el espacio un poco reducido en ocasiones. Entonces, primero que nada es la colocación de las piezas, que eso requiere de tiempo y de paciencia y de algunas técnicas ahí, y después el marcaje de los acoples.
The foremost 2 of this deck, they're sandwiched between 2 shelves. So they had to be like notched, not just below but above also.
Muy bien, porque primero ellos están aprendiendo español y yo he ido aprendiendo algunas frases en inglés y entonces ahí cada vez nos entendemos mejor. Un poquito complejo por los ángulos que tienen, de los cortes, pero conforme lo fuimos haciendo ya cada vez lo logra interpretar más fácil uno. Cada corte se mejora.
frames relative to the level shelf means that the shelf is a lot wider at the top than at the bottom, because we had to cut some twist into it, and come out in the middle of the bottom of the shelf was quite difficult.
Muy bonito porque son unos ángulos y unos acoples bastante complicados, pero muy bonitos. Contentísimo, o sea, feliz de pertenecer a este proyecto y hacer el trabajo lo mejor posible, aprender cada día más con los compañeros que tenemos y trabajo en equipo.
We're putting in the carlins and the half beams, diagonals, and the longitudinals. And that's just finishing up now. So we have one small hatch that's off-centered. It's for the crew to be able to go down into the engine room. In the past couple of weeks, we have been 10 people. There's been 10 of us doing full-time joinery. We had Nathan, Giru, Eta and Yannick putting in half beams, the carlins and the diagonals. Sophie was finishing up the small maintenance hatch and putting in 2 half beams as well. Garrett also helped out for a little while. Davis, Jess, Eugenio and Alejandro putting in longitudinal pieces underneath. And it's been really cool, yeah.
Can you let it down more? Oh, yeah, a little bit more. 1 second. I need mouth. Probably. Oh.
There was quite a lot of measuring to make sure everything was square, because this piece here, this big Ropinol one, is a mast partner and it's one side of a hatch. And this is, you know, so you had to make it sure that one was like in the right place.
We taught quite a few people how to put in carlins and half beams and diagonals, and the teaching process is really rewarding. And then we have the engine room maintenance hatch, which is substantially larger and needs 3 half beams on either side.
So from here to here, Down there, there will be a possibility of opening if we have to. Well, that's the size of the battery packs basically, so we can just put them in or out with the head of an outside crane. Here we should have a motor, and on top there will be an opening here, an opening there, and an opening there, so you can directly move your motors up and down.
So my name is Sophie. I'm from Saint-Jean-de-Luz in Basque Country, and I'm here since a little bit more than 1 month now as boat builder. I start learning boat building in Bassin d'Arcachon, but I was between there in France and Albaola in Basque Country. I did that for 10 months, and after I started working in Albaola on a big boat, a little bit like this one but shorter. Since I'm here, I'm almost only on the deck beam, like finishing the join on the edge. For me, it's the most difficult thing. It's about, I mean, it's really good to have a lot of people working on the same project because it's faster, but it's also like so many noise and people everywhere. But in a shipyard like that and how we are living here all together, all the time, it's my first experience like that.
Just the few more of the kind of diagonal pieces to go in on the kind of half beams around the hatch, and then it's done. Then it needs to be fed.
So there's not much room, but that's exactly what we need, because the smaller the energy storage room, the easier it will be to keep the 20 degrees Celsius we want to keep all the time there. And there's a mast going through. It's a good Tetris game to put everything in there, it's funny. Blackwater holding tank, freshwater tank, there will be another one on the other side. That's half of the full battery pack. Propeller shaft, here is the thrust bearing and the hydraulic pitch control system from Hundstedt. Here is one of the firefighting pumps. There will be exactly the same arrangement forward of the ship under the forecastle. All the valves necessary to go from firefighting to bilge and vice versa. And you can control them from the main accommodation deck. So we'll have some solar panels. The solar panels will mainly be covering daily navigational needs of the ship. Otherwise, if we have good sailing conditions, we can unfeather the propellers so to run the electric motors as generators and recharge the batteries, storing wind in the batteries.
So the longitudinals, we put them there to fix the flatness in the deck beams, because when we cut these deck beams, when we scarfed them together and everything, they still weren't dry, or not dry enough. So during the cutting process and over the past couple months, they have changed shape. So some of them are now cambered, even though they shouldn't. And these longitudinal pieces just help to tie everything back together, and we are able to bring down those that are high, bring up those that are low, and it's just going to make the deck a lot stronger, as well as when we need to hoist stuff from the hoisting from the engine room, we'll be able to use these as our pulley points.
My name is Jessica Fuchs and I'm from Switzerland. I've been here roughly 7 months now. I've been sailing before that on another sailing cargo ship on Aventur, it's a German ship, and I sailed with them for 6 months, and then I was on the Tres Hombres for 4 months to come here. Well, in the beginning I did a lot of oiling and tarring from all the frames of the ship. I put on 4 layers of linseed oil and tar on all the frames, so I know all of them now. And after that, I was really lucky that Ben offered me to show me some stuff about woodworking, and so I started working with him first around the Samson post in the front of the ship, doing the construction, and now in the past few weeks I was working on the accommodation deck. I've been working with Eugenio and Davis on the longitudinal pieces that come under the deck beams. There's 5 pieces. Actually went really well. After working in the front where everything was head over and hardwood and little corners to work, so here we had a lot of space and it wasn't hardwood, so it was actually, it went really well. We were a lot of people also, so stuff happened really fast. Sometimes it was even a bit difficult because there were so many people that you're not in each other's way. quite special to live in the shipyard. You wake up in the morning because the howler monkeys wake you up at 5. They're just, and all the birds singing, and life slowly starts, and you eat here, everybody together, you're cooking together. It's nice community life.